and there are different there are different temperatures of light. There's also different quality of light, I guess you could say. The sun is considered even though it's huge, massive light. Well, it's kind of pinpoint in the sky. It's a very tiny, thing. So that's why the smaller the light source is, the more defined shadows are. So the sun being a pinpoint in the sky comes down, it gives you really harsh shadows, and if that's what you're looking for, that's great. If you're looking for textures, if you're looking to do textures on a building, or you want defined shadows, you want that look, fantastic. If you don't want that, you're going to want to what's called diffuse the light. So you can diffuse any light. You can diffuse the sun by buying, it's called a diffuser. But anyhow, it's basically a translucent shade, and so it's a translucent, which is light passes through, but it catches a lot of that. And basically what it does is the sun hits this thing and then shines through and makes this the new light source. So it's this big translucent thing that becomes the new big light source, and that's what projects the light onto the person. And so it's a softer light, and it just comes through, and it makes the pictures for people, for glamour, for women especially. It makes them they're more flattering. So but like I said, for a building or for textures or for things like that, and you want all these sharp shadows, and I don't know how you diffuse the light for a building. What a huge diffuser is that people don't realize? Clouds. Clouds are a huge diffuser. So I guess you could diffuse the sun for a building. You just go out on a cloudy day and you have diffused sunlight. So clouds are huge. It makes for this great big light source. Shadows are effing thing. The clouds diffuse sunlight, and they bring down this very soft cast of light. Go out on a cloudy day, you have diffused light all day till the sun comes out. And then you have harsh light. So there's harsh, there's diffused. So soft, harsh, and they're different qualities of light. You can have reflected light, which bounces off of, if you have someone in the sun and you put them next to a white building, and the white building's not in your picture or whatever, and you're taking a picture from here, white building here, sun here, what's happening is the sun's going to hit them harsh on this side, but it's going to fill in the shadows by bouncing off the wall on this side. So you can use reflectors, which reflect light, to bounce light and have indirect light hitting your pictures. So you have your direct light, indirect light, diffuse light, and those are three of the different kinds of light or qualities of light that you can have that make your picture. So light is very important, and your light sources are very important. Knowing how they work and knowing how to balance your camera out for it can really take your pictures from not being exposed to being correctly exposed. Light is the stuff. Without light, there is no pictures. Without light, without the sun, there's nothing. But without light, you have no pictures. So for even dark low light situations, light is the key word. There's no light pictures, or there wouldn't be pictures. So to learn your light is to learn photography, and to be a student and to study light. Go out and check out some books on light and diffusing light and gobos. And a gobo is basically it's a short term for go between. I don't know why it's not a gobi, but a gobo is something that puts a shade up so you can shade a part of your picture, or it's even to shade the camera. So let's say this is the camera's lens, so that there's no light going directly into the camera's lens. So you just need a little thing up if you're facing the sunlight behind your subject, or something like this, and you put a little gobo there to keep that flare from hitting your camera. So when you're out in the sun shooting, you can even do this and just keep the sun right off your lens so you don't get flare, and ta-da, you get good shots. In retrospect, there are different kinds of light. You have direct light, diffuse light, reflected light. And if you use them correctly, and even if you just know about them, you'll start seeing them everywhere, and you'll know what to do, when to do it, and how to position your subject so that you can get your shadows in the right spot. You start seeing shadows, you start seeing things through different eyes, and your pictures you'll see will evolve. So there'll be an evolution of your photography once you learn light and the different kinds of light and how they affect your pictures. You're going from being a beginning photographer to being a photographer, and then from there you can go from being a photographer who's does it on the side to being a professional, and that's when you start raking in dough. So I've raked in my share of dough. I've had my share of good times, my share of bad times, but through it all I've learned a lot, and that's what I share with you. And it's a fantastic road, and when you travel it, I'm still traveling it, and I love it. And I'll hold your hand. I'll take you with me, and that's what I'm all about. And you know, if you're into it, I'm here.